Now, this week, we'll see the greatest ever concentration of African leadership in Washington. President Obama's invited 50 African heads of state and government to a three-day meeting, which starts today. And the focus is on trade and investment as the president tries to make up for lost time and possibly a lost opportunity. Over the past decade, it's China that has made much of the running on investment in the region, while the US has found itself caught up in dealing with the spread of terrorism. Now it is hoping $900 million worth of deals between American companies and African nations will be formally announced this week. But as ever, politics is going to play a big part in the negotiations. I'm joined by Jag Singh, who is a political strategist. Good morning, Jag.
Good morning.
So America is on the back foot, really, isn't it?
Sad to say, yes, it is. This whole summit is a chance for the U.S. to recalibrate its image within Africa, within the African continent. And I mean, as we know, Africa holds a lot of far-ranging sort of policy implications for the U.S., from national security to trade to literally everything in between. And this summit, whilst it's useful to look at it in the context of Africa's relationship with China, it's worth noting that the U.S. does have historical ties to the African continent, and President Obama, being the first African-American president, may already be starting to think about his legacy in terms of what has the first African-American president done for Africa in his 2 terms in office.
And it's an interesting time, isn't it? Because it's a three-day summit. He's kind of there.
Sure.
But he's also going to not be there as well. John Kerry's going to do most of the legwork, isn't he?
Sure.
I mean, what's the real prize for America in this?
I think it boils down to helping the U.S. private sector re-engage with Africa in a meaningful way. About 15 years ago, there was the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which was brought in place in the dying days of the Bill Clinton administration, just before Bush came in power, to sort of kickstart and create a mini free trade area for African countries to trade with the U.S. And we've seen some very limited success with that. It's pretty much only worked in the textile industry and nowhere else. And it's also dominated by oil and gas and raw materials. So I think it's an opportunity for the U.S. to sort of go guns blazing and say, look, we're going to try a fresh approach. Let's see how this works.
And very quickly, Ebola. That's affecting this, isn't it?
Of course it has. I think 3 or maybe 4 of the leaders have had to drop out because of the crises going on in their country. Again, whilst we're comparing and contrasting with the Chinese approach, it's worth noting that it's the U.S. that's sending all its technical expertise, its medical expertise and personnel over to help Africa as a country, as a continent, overcome this crisis.
All right, Jag Singh, thanks for coming in and just outlining some of the issues. And of course, it's an event that we're keeping a close eye on here on BBC World News. And as and when deals are done, there's announcements, we will keep you up to date. But let's now crack on because other stories are making headlines.